Hi guys, today I thought I'd share with you my filming setup, my lights, my camera, my lenses, all the information you pretty much need to know. I think it's really helpful. I think more people who do beauty videos on YouTube should do this because it kind of gives you a different look, like a behind the scenes kind of what's going on, because it's hard to kind of figure it out yourself, which is kind of what I had to do. I did a lot of research online, but it was really hard to find something geared towards someone making YouTube videos. So that's why I thought I'd make this video. I'll try to kind of keep it short and simple and sweet and not get too technical. So I guess I will start off with lighting, which is one of my big improvements since moving into my apartment, because now I can fit both of my soft boxes in this room. Back home, they take up way too much space because I had my whole bedroom in there too. I'm in the guest room right now, and I'll just kind of give you an overview of the room right now as I talk. And so I have these two really big soft boxes, and back at home, I kind of ghetto rigged one of them. I took off the square portion around it, and I just had the light on a stand, and I covered it with one of the sheets of the soft box, like the white portion. I covered it with that. I don't know all the technical names, but I did that, and I couldn't even set up the other one because I just didn't have enough room. So I had natural lighting coming in from the window, and then I would kind of use the light to compensate for that. But a lot of times, especially at night, the lighting would be really uneven, and my room was set up facing north, so the sun never directly came in my room, so it was kind of like a dull light in my room. So what I love about having these soft boxes is I could film any time of the day and it's still gonna look the same. But natural lighting is the best. So lighting is the key when it comes to your videos. Either sit by a window at a prime time in the afternoon, and you're only gonna be able to film during the afternoon, but you will get good lighting, or invest in a softbox. I really wanted to get a diva ring, which is like a ring of lights that go around your camera. Feel free, I'll link my softboxes and I'll link the diva ring down below. I don't feel like I really need the diva ring right now. I'm kind of happy with how my lighting is, and they are pricey. These softboxes were a lot more inexpensive, but they do take up a lot more. Now onto my camera. I have gone through a lot of different cameras. My camera before this was a Nikon point and shoot camera, and it was in full HD, so it still put out good quality videos. The only thing I didn't like was it didn't have autofocus, and it didn't have a viewfinder, so I had to like hold a mirror behind the camera just to see if I was in the screen, which was really, really annoying. I hated it. Before that, I had a camcorder, and it wasn't full HD, so it wasn't the best quality, but it did have a viewfinder. So now I have the Canon Rebel T3i, which a lot of people on YouTube actually have. Now the Rebel line is actually geared more towards photographers. It's not so much geared towards people doing videos. There's a lot of really expensive camcorders that are geared towards it, but this works just fine. I was kind of skeptical. I was wary about getting it because I heard, the battery dies super fast, your memory cards fill up really fast. First, out of the T3i, T4i, T5i. I believe the T5i has a autofocus in video mode, which this doesn't. I have to focus myself, or I can put my camera in manual mode and I can adjust the focus. So if I hold my hand up, it's blurry. It's not going to autofocus on my hand, which I wish it did, but it's not that big of a setback. Now, I would recommend getting 2 batteries with this camera, especially if you're filming a lot in one day, which I do. So I keep one battery in the camera, of course, and then the other one's charging, and then I just swap them, so I always have a full battery. My dog's hiding under the futon. So I only have one 32GB SD card. I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting 2. I get by with one just fine. I could film like 4 to 5 videos on one SD card, which I normally don't do that in one day anyways. And then I just, upload it on my computer. And if I need to, I upload it and then use it again. But I've never had such a problem where I need to get a new SD card. Now, when I first got this camera, my SD card did not work in it, and I was like, oh great, this is just going to be a huge nightmare to figure out this camera. Well, what you could do is you just have to format the SD card. Go online, look how to format the Canon Rebel T3i, and then it's on the camera, you do it all in the camera, and then it starts working like a miracle. So that's what you have to do. Now, the Canon Rebel T3i can be pretty expensive, but you don't have to get it with the kit lens. The kit lens that it comes with is the 18 through 55mm lens, which is what I'm using right now. But what you could do, which I would recommend doing, is just buying the camera, without a lens, and then just buy the camera body, and then buy a separate lens. Now I will go over this briefly. I still don't totally understand everything about lenses, but I get the gist of it, and I've done a lot of research. So I did get this lens, which I would recommend getting instead of your typical 18 through 55 millimeter. This is the 18 through 200 millimeter. I got it off eBay. I think I paid $200 for it. So lenses are expensive. They could get like up to $1,000. So this gives you a lot more range than the 18 to 55 millimeters. What I love about this one, it is a lot heavier, but like say I'm going on vacation, it gives me more range. I could bring this one lens so that way I don't have to keep on switching out my lenses. So this 18 to 200 millimeter is just going to give you tons more range than just the 18 to 55 millimeter. I mean, look at that, 55, 200, huge range difference. So this is really nice. They have them that go from like 18 to like really far, and it's really expensive. I'm not like huge into photography too much. I like taking pictures, but I don't do it too often, so I don't get super fancy with my lenses. So next I have a 50 millimeter lens, and Travis got this for me for Christmas. You could get off Amazon for about, I think it was a little over $100. But this is a 50 millimeter lens, and it has an f-stop of 1.8. There's also a 1.4, that's a lot more expensive. Now what is an f-stop? This has 1.8, which means you could put the f-stop on 1.8, and that's going to make your background more blurry. The one I'm using now, I forget what it is. It's like, I think the lowest it goes is 3.5. So this lens, you will get a lot blurrier background. You'll get like the bokeh, I forget how to say that. So now what is a prime lens? A prime lens does not zoom in or out. This is a 50 millimeter, so that's the only distance you're going to get on this. Whereas the one I'm using now is 1855. I could zoom in and out. This one you cannot, but this one you get a lot better quality with prime lenses. So this is nice. However, I was doing a lot of research. Like I watched Shan Exos, I watched Shannon's video on this, and she has a 60D or some kind of Canon. She doesn't have the Rebel line. Now the Rebel line has a crop sensor on the lenses. It's not a full sensor. So what a crop sensor means is this is not really 50 meters. The crop sensor is 1.6. So you have to times 1.6 by 50, which leads to like 80 something, I think. So this 50 millimeter lens is actually going to look like an 80 something millimeter lens. So it's going to be a lot more zoomed up. So if you have a Canon camera, you're going to have to move your camera pretty far away just to, you know, get your whole face and everything you want in the video. So if you want to get a 50 millimeter lens and you have a Canon Rebel camera, you really want to get somewhere between a 20 and 30 millimeter lens. That's going to put you what a normal 50 millimeter lens is. I hope that makes sense, because when you times the 25 or 30 by 1.6, it's going to equal around 50. So really quickly, I'll talk about editing. Long ago, before I had a MacBook, I used Windows Movie Maker. That is my least favorite editing system I have used. I like iMovie. It's so simple to use. It's really easy just to plop everything in there. Now, if I want to do a little more special effects and, you know, this talking video, I'm going to edit on iMovie because there's not too much editing I need to do. But if I want to get a little more complicated, then I'm going to go into my Final Cut Pro. And that is kind of pricey, so you really have to like editing to spend your money on that. Otherwise, iMovie is going to get you by just fine. So I'm not actually going to show you like how I edit my videos because that'll take a little while, and it's something you could just kind of play around with because there's no right or wrong way. There's going to be some effects that you like doing and some that you don't. So just play around with your editing system. That's really what you have to do when it comes to editing. Now, a big question I get asked is, how do you put music in your videos without getting, you know, copyrighted issues and all that on YouTube? Well, one, you could use the music that iMovie comes with. All that is, you know, royalty-free music, which means you don't have to pay for it. So you can't put any like famous song on your video. It can't be just something you hear on the radio. YouTube is immediately going to flag that. What you can do is, if you like a song, go look for a cover. Look for somebody singing it that is in good quality. Message them. Say, hey, can I use your music in my video as background, and I will link your channel down below. Most people don't have a problem with that because people are going to listen to the music in the background and be like, oh, what song is that? And then they're going to find their channel, you know, when they go down to your description box and read it. So most people that I've talked to love when you use their music in their videos. So just ask them, and if it's okay, then you have that. Otherwise, just use the music that comes with iMovie. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below and I'll answer them if I know them. If not, I'll be like, sorry, I don't know the answer to that. But a lot of this really is trial and error and a lot of figuring stuff out on your own. It takes a lot of time to learn all this stuff. It's not just gonna come overnight. You're not just gonna magically know everything. So I still have so much more to learn, but I hope this was somewhat helpful for you guys, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!